So you guys did ride the trains a lot though, yes?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
See, I only knew Jeff Halbert and his brother that would ride, and, but they rode every length of it. I got to ride it when it got to West Ed, when they'd take the locomotive up. In fact, it stayed one weekend right there between the ice house and the milk station. And I got to ride up to the next creek that it went under the tracks, and I forget the name of it, but it was up by that sawmill that was on Route 8. That creek came down through, and it was I think Roy's brother stayed with the locomotives on the weekend. He'd throw a sleeping bag right down in the cab and stay there with it. And he was certified, I guess, and he'd take the locomotive up and he'd park it right on the creek, or right on the bridge over the creek, and he had a bucket tied to a rope, and he'd throw the bucket so that it'd sink in the creek, and he'd keep adding water, to the fill up on top of the cab in front.
Yeah.
Got a chance to ride that a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been to Bridgewater several times, Edmiston a lot,
Yeah.
Sydney. Used to love riding the caboose. We get up there in the Eagle's Nest.
Yeah, and the Cooper was a neat place to be.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
You were just riding the 8-wheel cabooses, though.
Yeah.
You didn't. Neither one of you ever. Did you ever see the bobbers at all?
1551.
Never even on the sidings or just in the.
I may have seen him, but I can't remember.
No, I don't remember.
I got you.
In 51, I'd have been 9 years old, so
Well,
possibly.
No, those were the,
I was
the
8.
car numbers.
Oh, the car ones?
Yeah.
I know they used to have some cabooses they didn't use parked out back. And I can't tell you what the numbers were.
Yeah.
We used to climb in and out of them all the time.
Were they smaller than the ones that were on the line or not?
I can't remember.
I remember there was one or two of them when the dark ones, the brown ones, acted like they were secondary when the orange and cream caboose was used, and they didn't see a lot of service until they wore off the wheels or wore off the journals on the orange and cream one, and then they saw a lot of service.
Yeah.
But it was more toward the end.
Yeah.
And then they weren't there, they were being used.
Yeah.
Except the one of the two seemed to be used more than the others, so there might have been some wheel trouble on that too.
Well, if anybody has any questions, I have my
Did you
number.
follow cabooses to the lake? Did you ever see the caboose when it was down at Silver Lake?
No?
And I never did
No.
either, but supposedly they trucked the caboose after it got to Bridgewater down to Silver Lake and put it on the road on stilts for a couple of years, on the road that went on down to Charlie's, what's his last name? I can't remember.
The back of the Bill Young book talks about the caboose number 101 went with the train to the end, to Bridgewater. And then it was trucked back to Silver Lake. Now, Larry Taylor swears that he remembers the caboose down kind of on the end of the lake where it was kind of swampy. And it was there for a year or so, and he said it was too swampy, so they moved it up, basically up the lake a little ways.
Now, where is that caboose today?
Well, I'm coming to that, sir. They
Okay.
moved it up the lake for a year or so, and then his memory was after that it went to Mount Upton. And I do have a contact in Mount Upton. I'm going to call him and say, gee, you know anything about a New Berlin caboose, a UV caboose? I don't know if it still exists or not, but
Because there was a caboose down to Mount Upton, right out Route 8.
caboose or the
On
museum?
Route 8.
There's a museum down but there was a caboose down there,
Where?
right on Route 8.
At the museum?
I'm not sure.
No, okay, I just wanted to make sure that, And there's a pop car down there now. Now, I got a hold of Rex Smith when we were trying to talk about the location of the caboose down at the lake.
Right.
Because I remember seeing it once from the air, because I flew a lot with Bill Curry when I was just a kid. And we went down around there and I did see the caboose. I thought it was up higher up on the bank than it actually was. As Tom's story, I'm into the second phase of that, because it was moved up between Charlie Smith's house and Ackerman's Turn, and it was in there. And that's where Rex said he remembered it being.
Yeah.
But he also said, we knew that heard that they had moved it to Mount Upton someplace.
Right.
And he said, we drove around and we found it down there someplace, but he says, I can't tell you where it was now. And that caboose was probably somebody's maintenance nightmare too. There should, or probably would have had to been a lot of timber to be replaced in the outside of that framing. So if they didn't keep it up, it would have just been consumed.
Now, as near as I can tell, you know, down at Silver Lake now, the modern house down in the lower part of the lake with the solar panels on top,
Yeah,
as near as I can tell, it was near that where it ended up.
oh,
But, I know, I have the name and phone number of the guy who owns that house, but I haven't contacted him either. I haven't run out of things to do to see if he knows anything about it or heard anything.
maybe inside his house.
Yeah. Of course, I don't think that house was there at the time, but,
No, it wasn't.
I talked to Roy Reidenball. He was general manager, wasn't he?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. I talked to him one Sunday. He happened to be in the office. Again, I'm just a little kid, but I walked down in there and saw that he was there and talked to him about the cabooses and stuff. I said it really pained me to see them up on the Y laying on their sides. He says, well, jeepers, you should have spoken up sooner. We would have sold you a caboose for $50.
Yeah.
And I lived in West Ed, and of course I could visualize that out on our back lawn. That was the orange and cream one too,
Yeah.
the earlier of the O&W cabooses. But at that time too, $50 was like $5,000.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was just nothing that anybody would come, and it would have been, I doubt it would have been a free ride. I think you
Yeah,
probably would have been
transport,
paying for it to get up to a siding, and
Yeah,
it had to
right.
be moved from the siding up in West End at such and such a time. So mentally, I could just hear the ka-chinging going on and just waved it off, right?
But it would be worth it.
To hear it.
Yeah.
UV had two boppers, right?
To what?
Boppers, cabooses.
Yes, I think
The other
51.
one's on Arkville.
Yeah, 51's at Arkville.
50 went to the lake.
No, 101 went to the lake,
Oh,
the full size.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. 102 and 103 were burned, 101 went to the lake. And 50, near as I could tell, they just disintegrated. I don't know if they burned it. You know?
No, I never saw the bobbers down here, and I never went in there because I talked to Terry about it. I said, I'd really like to go over there and look at those. And he says, we've been over there. He says, there's so many bees over there, I'm never going over there again. And so I only got to, the cut there, whoever had the garage that was just north of where Pat McKenna and his brother and the McKennas used to live, there was a little garage there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the name of that, but that hollow where there was kind of a swampy swale in there,
Two spots.
for many years, it was wide open, and it was open in the 60s, so you could see those cars from right there at Route 8.
Yeah.
And then see them rolled over, and then see them burned. It was just, to a kid that liked the road, it was just devastating.
Do you know anything else about 50? You're good on the bobbers.
Nope. I have no idea, it just seemed to vanish from the face of the earth.
From the one I had in the pen drive.
Well, I look at the half car that's sitting over by the
Yeah.
depot, and the deterioration in the last 10 years, and considering that's a wooden car, I can't imagine. When you look at pictures of 101, the end there when they were